All right. I believe we are live. I believe we're live here on twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious as I slide my way on into the frame here. We are down here in the workshop. We're going to be doing some toy making. We got some painting to do, and I'm psyched to be back down here. I love doing this kind of work, and I know everyone loves watching it. We're all going to bear with me while I figure out the camera placement and what's going to be best for everyone to see what's going on here. Yeah, that'll keep us in the frame. But welcome one and all to twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious. If you're watching the VOD after the fact, either on Twitch or YouTube, welcome to you as well. I have a bunch of figures I need to work on. Encrypted, welcome, my friends. Sorry, folks. Again, when I'm down here, this is the acoustic show. I got no stream deck, so Loopy, welcome in. Hello. I have to do all the sound effects on my own. It's very strange. I've done so many of these, and it still feels very unnatural. So welcome in. So what we're working on today, we have a few different things we got to work on. We have a few things for me. We have a couple things for some other folks. So you will all remember Luau Perry with his sunglasses and his swim trunks, his board shorts, as it were. These are sort of the parts to that. The trunks came out real nice, real happy. Oh, gotta get it centered. Real happy with how those turned out. I think those are great. And they sold out at the Luau guys. How sick is that? Like pretty psyched on that. I did, however, have one more pre-order come in, and I also need one for me for my archives. I am hopefully sooner than later. I'm holding off on saying anything specific because I need to put in a couple phone calls to some people, but I think the basement studio is happening a lot sooner than we had planned on. And if that's the case, I'm going to have a nice display behind me in that studio, and I need the figures, the toys I've been making myself to be on display, along with some other stuff, of course. And if that's the case, I need my own copies. So I really need to do that. To wit, not only am I making a Luau figure for myself and finishing the mail away, but I do have, with his regular face here, and with his regular trunks, I do have the parts for a Perry Classic that'll be for me, for my archives. That's for my collection. So we're going to be working on that as well. And then, of course, our good friend, Mr. Joey Nails, who I know will be tuning in tonight. Mr. Joey Nails, he got himself a Honky Tonk figure from the old WWF Hasbro's. In really good shape, an original Honky Tonk Man, but it did not come with the guitar. So I went online, and after doing some digging, and I hope it'll focus on this a little bit, it's a little harsh in the light, I did find a model of Honky's guitar, and we are going to paint that to look like the one that came with the Hasbro's. So we'll get started on that if Joey Nails rolls in and comes to hang out. If not, we'll hold off on that. For now, though, I think the place to start for me is going to be to do some Joey Nails rolling in with a fresh subscription for the 24th month in a row. My goodness, there he is. Say his name and he appears. 2-year subscribiversary. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome. Thank you so much, Joey Nails. Hell yeah. Kicking things off huge here. I was just showing off the guitar for your Honky Tonk Man. Encrypted with a fresh subscription. Let's go.
Don't tell me we actually showed up.
Is that 19 months? Holy moly. Thank you, my friend. It is your birthday. Not Nika Beans. Welcome, my friend. So just to show for Joey Nails, the guitar is scaled really well for the old Hasbro's. That's really going to complete his Honky Tonk Man. So I would say we're going to start on that right away, but I need to pull up reference images for that, and we're going to hold on that for just a moment while I want to get the green onto these shorts first.
But in this business of show, you have to have the heart of an angel and the hide of an elephant.
But you've never actually had an audition.
Well, excuse me. Excuse me.
He's so sad. All right. Get these cups. Do I have another thing of cups, or am I going to have to start reusing some? What? May have to reuse some, which is always risky business. All right. So I do want to get the green down on these shorts first, and then we're going to start on Joey Nails. The tough part really will be Tonkin the Honks over here. Who will and cocky and bad. That came up. I was listening to old wrestling themes while I was working out the other day, and that came on, and I couldn't help but laugh because I was on shows with Honky Tonk Man as recently as early 2011. And he would get in the ring, he would have them start his entrance theme over again. And on the mic, he would sing along because that really is him singing on that track. Like, so sick. And he was a good dude every time I met him. He was a nice guy. A weird guy, but, it's wrestling. Who's not weird? All right. We got our green for these shorts. We're going to get the green on these shorts first so it has some time to dry so I can get the other stuff going on it. As long as everyone's here, we got a good crowd hanging out. I do want to remind everyone, this Saturday, all-day stream for my birthday. Your dad's room around Bangor in 02. Okay, so your dad knows. This Saturday, all-day stream for my birthday, and we are doing a giveaway. We will be doing a giveaway of this. I hope this camera picks it up nice. This is the translucent Delmi Exo prototype figure. It is one of one. It is the only one. And similar to the translucent Perry, the parts don't really quite totally move the way we might like. They move a little. It was a prototype. But yeah, really excited to give that away. That is a one of one. It's the only one like it. And I will not be making another one. Because those translucent ones are tough. All right. So let's go ahead and finish mixing this green paint. The nice part about this green on this color of resin is it does only take the one coat. So as long as we get a nice coat on there, we just got to let it dry, and then it should work from there. All right. I know previously I had messed with it a little, but I think the color is still pretty consistent there. So I'm going to go with that. This is going to be for the one that's going to be mine, so I don't mind if it's not, not exact. It's for me. You'll find that I take a very different level of care in the toys I make for others than for the toys I make for me. All right, let's see. I'm going to go with tough choices on the brushes here. I think this one's going to do the trick, and if it doesn't, I can always swap it out. We'll see who has the last honked tonk. Yeah, that's behaving real nice. Okay. And as always, you really can't see exactly what I'm doing. It's very difficult to do this up high, but some of it up closer in the hopes that the camera manages to focus. It's a little too bright. I wonder if I kill this one extra light. We've developed some flies down here in the basement, and there never has been. Definitely going to try to win that Delmi figure. Hell yeah, Encrypted Cryptid. I believe in you. I think you can do it. Oh yeah, this lighting is much better now. Scoot this camera a little bit closer so I can just work right under it. Yeah, there's some flies down here. They're my roommates when I'm lifting in the gym, unfortunately.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. This is the tidal wave.
Adam_NX67 just redeemed hydrate.
Adam NX67 popping that Johnny Knoxville hydrate alert. I'll comply. I'll comply and I'll compy. Compy. I know since we got Joey Nails and a few of the other folks here, I will once again reiterate there will be some special birthday bit alerts this Saturday for the stream that are one-offs. They will not be around after that stream. They will not be around before that stream. I'm really looking forward to that. We've still got a little bit of tech work to do before that stream to make sure that everything's ready to go. But so far, I got a good feeling about it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Again, pre-show antics will begin right around 8:30. I did finish that part up. With the main event, our 2000s wrestling game roulette kicking off at 9 a.m., going clear through to 9 p.m., and then from 9 p.m. to about 11, it's the karaoke concert part 2, this time with special guest. And who could it be? Could be anybody. Could be anybody. For all we know, it's Joey Nails. Boy, wouldn't that be a surprise to him? This is definitely not him. All of a sudden, he's like, wait, I'm supposed to be where? Let's see. I'm not really loving how this brush is behaving. So I'm going to clean it off in the water here. Dip it into the even cleaner water. Set it out of the way, and I'm going to switch over to a different brush. Who knows? I'm going to be in your room either way. Oh my goodness. Terrifying. The most terrifying little guy, Mr. Joey Nails. But yeah, we will have all kinds of cool stuff going on Saturday. We got that giveaway that we'll be taking. We'll be taking bits to go into that all stream and subs to go into that all stream. I would give you the exact details about how that's going to work, but they are on a different window on my computer, and switching between those while painting is a little bit tough. But it will all be on the Discord probably tomorrow. I think I'm going to try to get it up there tomorrow. That way, if there's any questions, folks can pop into the Stardew stream and ask. We will also be, me and the secret mystery guest will be taking requests during karaoke for a particular bit amount. And the Twinkie Wiener Sandwich reward will be active throughout the day. I do have the ingredients for Twinkie Wiener sandwiches. And until I run out of ingredients, you can all pop that 1,000 bit alert and make me eat Twinkie Wiener sandwiches on stream. I'll do it. I'm not above that. That stream, of course, is 1 week ahead of me going to see Weird Al at Boston Garden.
I need photos. Photos of Spider-Man.
This is a poetry journal.
Okay, then poems about Spider-Man. And I want to finish before you start. And before you finish, give me some coffee. And the poem should have the following rhyme scheme. A-B-B-A-A-B-B-A-C-D-E-C-D-E. What are you waiting for? Chinese New Year?
But I'm very excited. I can't wait to see who ends up winning the Delmy prototype, because it's a very cool figure, and it is the only one like it. And while a part of me is a little bummed to let it go, I also know I'm long overdue to print myself a version of it so that I have it on display. Adam NX67 with the 100 watch streak. He did it. He did it. That crazy bastard. He made it. My God, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to set that there so it can dry up a little bit. This out of the way. Clean off this brush. And I think we're going to dive into Joey Nails' guitar here, because it's going to take a few different coats of a few different colors. I did print it on white so that the light colors will be easy to paint on it. All right, set this here, and now what I'm going to have to do is get a reference image up here. So everybody hang tight for just a moment while I pull a reference image up. Go. Shrink that down. And that's definitely the image up. Okay. Shrink this entire window a bit. So that I can still see the chat. Mystery guest Saturday is in the friendships that we made. Yeah. What if the mystery guest is the friendships we made along the way? See, Element X67 is asking the important questions here. All right, we are going to work on Joey Nails' guitar, and that's going to require me to probably have to custom mix some colors to get it just right. Although, who knows? I'm looking at a reference image right now. And the King's Gold I use for my hair, pretty close. It's maybe a little dark. The peach is pretty close, sort of a fleshy color. I think if we do a mix of these two, we're going to hit the guitar color of Honky Tonk Man's guitar. No, it's not from JEFFJARRETT, friend of the family. No, it is in fact, it is Honky Tonk Man's guitar. So let's grab us up here, and we're gonna set to doing some mixing. Now this may take multiple layers because it is a very light color. Where are my paper towels? I know I had a roll of paper towels down here. All right, I guess I'm grabbing a fresh roll of paper towels. Thankfully, they live right next to where I'm streaming. But folks, this Friday, Lowell, Massachusetts, I make my Chaotic Wrestling debut. The only company in New England, really, that I've never worked for. So very cool to scratch that one off the list. And making my debut in the Chaotic Countdown, which will be streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. So I don't have the links for that at the ready, but if someone else does and they want to drop them in the stream, that would be fine with me. Oh, good. Okay. These are looking good. I'm going to mix these up. All right. Put a bit of this in here. That's going to be our main color, and we're going to creep up on the amount of this yellow to add because I don't want it to get overwhelming too fast. Mix it and stick. But yeah, we're going to creep right up on how much of this. Just going like a drop or two at a time. Like I really want to take my time mixing this color and get it real close. That yellow is pretty strong. It's strong stuff. Anytime you have a darker color going into a lighter color, you got to be very judicious with how much you add and when. See, Adam says, Honky Tonk Man is kind of a dick. See, that's not my experience with him. My experience is that he was always a pretty good dude. I was on a lot of shows with him out in California. The most recent was probably early 2011, maybe? But he was at that stage in his career where he still had a bit of shake, but not a lot of rattle or roll left in him. All right, I think just a hint more yellow, maybe. Thank you, Adam NXX7, landing that chaotic link for us. We're gonna go with one more drop of this yellow because I think it just a hint more to hit that sort of acoustic guitar wood color for us. I do hope everyone's having a lovely Wednesday. It is night 3 of birthday week as we march forward, march our way on to this Saturday's all-day stream, which I know we're all very excited for. The last one was a big hit. I know everyone had a good time. I had a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, that is feeling like the right color to me. So, that there. Now we need to go, just the top is going to be this color. The only thing getting this color. So we need to go fine brush, but not too fine. Behaves well. Maybe. It's always hard for me to pick a brush for something like this, where I need to do some careful edging, but I do want to cover some ground. So let's get in here, and I guess we'll get after it here, because we're going to be going over some of this with darker colors later. So it's okay if it's a little messy. There's nothing lighter.
Oh, stop booing. There's nothing wrong with it. There are dozens of us. Dozens!
Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome aboard. We're doing some toy making here. This is going to be a replica of the old WWF Hasbro Honky Tonk Man's guitar. For our good friend, Mr. Joey Nails. Stichosaurus Rex is a great name. That is a great name. My goodness. That is a very cool name. I like that. Yeah, if our Stichosaurus, are you new to the stream entirely, or are you aware of me outside of the world of Twitch? Some people come in kind of already knowing me. Some people are brand new when they arrive. All right. It's a nice, loose, kind of good coverage. Because this is going to take 2 coats for sure. That's whenever I have a light color, it's always 2 coats. Just want some good coverage there. This is getting to be about the right color for that Honky Tonk Man guitar. All right. I'm going to carefully set that aside to do some drying. Clean this brush off a bit. New to it. I also stream making stuff. Oh, hey, that's awesome. Very cool. Well, I am Perry Von Vicious. I am a professional wrestler known, truthfully, the world over as the Human Monster Truck. I've wrestled in 4 countries, the US, Mexico, Canada, and Japan. And also a toy maker. So I do make figures of myself. Day Without Darkness, welcome in. Thank you. I do occasionally make monster truck toys. I actually have some bits and bobs here. This is an old monster truck toy that I designed a little ride truck piece for. It still needs to be painted, but it's something I designed up and painted, and it needs to be finished. Gotten dirty sitting around over time. And then I also do custom jobs where I take the body from a current die cast, and I will design my own. Yeah, you can see it coming apart. I will design my own chassis, This is an entirely 3D printed chassis that I've painted with liquid chrome. And meant to look like the old Matchbox superchargers. I'm super thrilled with how it came out. So yeah, I do a lot of different toy making, 3D printing, painting, all that stuff. And I do have my own figures, which I will be working on here. I had a special Luau figure. There's a company here, Blitzkrieg Pro, that runs a show called the Luau. For that, I had a special limited time figure only available at the show, but I did have a couple pre-ordered. So I'm making those now. This is the legs as they turned out for that figure. He's wearing some board shorts instead of my regular wrestling trunks. He's got my boots and my knee pads though. And on the upper body, I sculpted sunglasses onto my normal character. This is my normal sunglasses-less design. And for comparison, this is the board shorts and the trunks, my wrestling trunks that I wear when I work. Reed Cooper, okay, this is going to be so much better than corporate wrestling. Let's go. They are 3D printed. I did them with, I have 2 different resin printers, and I've been really happy with how everything's come off of them. It took a little time to kind of, really, really fine tune my settings, but we got there eventually. All right, so I think what I want to do next is probably the hair on the heads of my 3 figures while I let that guitar dry up a little bit. This is probably the most tedious part of the figure painting, which is always fun to do on a live stream. But what's nice is I try to keep the colors very simple, a very limited number of colors, because that's how the figures were done back in the day. When we take, for example, this old Big Boss Man Hasbro figure, 5 colors tended to be the limitation of toy factories back in the day. So you'll see he's got the brown hair, flesh color, black, yellow, and blue, and that's it. That's every color on him. They're just very judicious with how they use it, and it doesn't feel limited. Let's see. Reed says, I was wondering about that. The resin is way heavier than I expected. Still mega light, but way heavier. Let me see. I actually think that, it's about the same weight, my figure versus the Hasbro, I think. It feels very similar.
Tomorrow morning, Spider-Man, page 1 with a decent picture this time. Move Conway to page 7.
There's a problem with page 7.
And make it page 8 and give him 10% off.
Okay.
Make it 5%.
That can't be done.
Get out of here!
Problem is, we don't have a decent picture. Eddie's been on it for weeks. We can barely get a glimpse of him.
Oh, what is he, shy? If we can get a picture of Julia Roberts in a thong, we can certainly get a picture of this weirdo. Put an ad on the front page. Cash money for a picture of Spider-Man. He doesn't want to be famous, and I'll make him infamous.
Joey Nails, thank you. Joey Nails cheering. He's getting everybody warmed up for this Saturday. This Saturday, we got the all-day stream as a reminder to everyone. I'm going to be talking about it all night. All-day stream. We're going to be playing 2000s wrestling games. I got a whole roulette wheel with all the different games on there. We're going to be doing a special giveaway on Saturday. This is the translucent resin prototype Delmy Exo figure. 1 of 1. It is the only one like that. We'll be giving that away. And the whole goal of the stream Saturday is between subs and bits and all that stuff, we want to raise enough money so I can take our good friend Delmy Exo to her first ever Monster Jam at the end of July, Gillette Stadium out by Boston. I think she's going to love it. And, everyone deserves to see Monster Jam. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's fair. Everyone deserves to do a little bit of Monster Jam. And I think, quite frankly, it is unacceptable that she's never been to Monster Jam. So we have to rectify that. Oh, you Stickosaurus Rex, you just went to your first one last month. That's awesome. This one gonna little stiff. I'm always very picky with which brush I use. I have some expensive brushes. I have a lot of like Dollar Tree brushes. This will work. gotta... The whole...
You can't give up. You gotta stand right up. You gotta run to a window and say, "Hey, these floors are dirty as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore."
So what I'm doing here, this is something I'm pretty pleased with, because I like to save money. I use cheap paints. I generally use cheap brushes. In order to attach these torsos to a drying rack so they can hang up and dry without being touched, there's nowhere that I can really, there's no protrusions to which I can clip something. So I use a couple of earplugs, and I will squish them down and put them into the cavity here. And then I just hold them for a minute while they expand, and then I can use that. It's been a very successful way to do this for me. All right, there's one. But yeah, in the course of selling these figures, and I have sold a lot of them. I was trying to do the math the other day because I never kept good track of it, but I believe I'm up over 100 of my own action figure that have been sold over time. And in the course of that, I've gotten pretty good at figuring out a lot of the little idiosyncrasies of producing my own toys sort of at scale. You know, like I said, at the luau, the figures sold out before the show started. You know, I had 5 figures there for sale, and yeah, before the first match had started, before the bell rang, sold out, gone. I would like to say that that's because I'm a very popular wrestler. I think more reasonably, it's because the toys are very cool, and it's a very unique merch item. But shouts out, I know there's some folks in the chat who pre-ordered some, and some folks in the chat who bought some at the shows. So thank you so much for that. Flip these around. Better. Yeah, I do hope everyone can hang out a little bit on Saturday for the all-day stream. We're going to have a lot of fun. Once again, shouts out to Mr. Johnny Torres for helping me get all the tech working for that. He's already working on some games, some really hard-to-find games, for a future all-day stream that we've been talking about and planning. So, you know, shouts out one of my producers, Mr. Johnny Torres. All right, I'll let those come together. Have this is the hair color. And yes, I did accurately, for those who've never seen it up close, I do accurately portray my receding hairline. I have no shame about that. I have no shame about it. Oh, Reed Cooper's got 2 TVs. He's jealous of that. Sorry guys, I don't have my Stream Deck here to do the sound, so I got to kind of do it on my own. I do like to start down on the beard. It's definitely trickier. I don't think that this helps with the view on the stream, but I am going to turn this light on because it does help me a little. Folks, as soon as that basement studio is built, we're all going to be able to see everything all the time. It's going to be great. And again, for those who may have arrived late, I think the basement studio is happening sooner than we thought. I do have to make a few calls and have some people come in and take a look at a couple things, but I think it's happening like really soon. I don't want to jinx it and put like a date on it, but a lot sooner than we might think. Pretty stoked about it because I have a lot of fun stuff planned once I have my own studio, and I'm going to be streaming a lot. You guys think I got a busy schedule streaming now? Whew. It'll look like amateur hour. But this is stream number 3 of birthday week. And thank you all so much for being here and hanging out. I know folks love the toy making streams. They love the IRL in the workshop. And I'm happy to do it. This is how my stream started. The very first stream I ever did was in this workshop where I was cleaning up the 3D prints of some snake vertebrae. It was a job I'd been hired for by an educational nonprofit to make them some models they could use with their students. And that was the very first stream I ever did. Just talking about the 3D print process and showing what the cleanup on those looks like. Would have been a bit over 3 years ago. We did just have the 3-year streamiversary stream back in May. That was so much fun. I'm so glad everyone could hang out for that. All right, the beard's coming together. Yeah, once I have that studio set up, the deal is going to be that I'm going to have my gaming station and my my workshop area all in the same spot. So I'll be able to use the good cameras while I'm in the workshop. I won't have to reset everything. The sound will be better. I will have multiple cameras with multiple views. It's going to be real nice. Really, really stoked about it. There are some less exciting parts of it that need to be sorted out, some electrical issues, that kind of thing, but we're gonna get past those hurdles and we are gonna make it happen. Who knows if that Delmi Exo translucent prototype ends up being a real popular item. We get a lot of people throwing bits and cheers around on Saturday for it. And I end up with some extra income after the Monster Jam trip for Delmi is covered. That may go to that studio. I mean, definitely studio. I should be more specific. It will go to that studio. That is specifically what that money would be earmarked for. All right. So what you're seeing here, the slow, methodical part here, is I'm just getting really good coverage on all the edges. I want all the edges of the area where there's hair and beard to have nice coverage. And then I can kind of fill the rest in very quickly. But this part, doing the outlines more or less, that is the slow, methodical, meticulous part of this process. Anyone watch the new Dark Side of the Ring yet? I have not had the chance to see it just yet. I started it because they put the episode up for free on YouTube. Shouts out Vice hooking us up with the free episode. Adam NX67 says, speaking of Monster Jam, my Snoopy monster truck is near completion. Just got to get the name written on the side where Monster Mutt was. Heck yeah, that's awesome. I like watching your custom truck designs come together. Really fun stuff. I mean, obviously that's a world that I'm into. You know, I have all my little designs that I'm always working on. I mean, heck, that's why we're having this stream at all. Toy making. But this is, you know, the important lesson here. Like, this is, you know, there's a bunch of wrestlers that have me making their toys for them very soon. And they've all sort of across the board said like, oh, I'm going to need you to paint them. I can't paint them. I would never be able to. I don't have a steady hand, whatever their reasoning is. And the truth is, I'm not a skilled painter per se. I'm just really patient. Part of that, I think, comes from the fact that I'm streaming, so I can just be rambling the whole time. I feel like I'm multitasking almost. But again, one of the reasons that it was such a natural choice for me to make these toys for the merch table was that I knew I could just say to myself, yeah, I'd be doing this anyway. As soon as I got those 3D printers and learned how to do design work, that was it. I was going to be making toys, whether I sold them or they were just going to go on a shelf for me. And very soon, we're going to be doing some projects on these streams that will be toys just going on a shelf just for me. There's a lot of the old classic Hasbros that I'm not willing to shell the money out for. They're real expensive. But the files exist online where I can print them myself, even alter them a little if I want to make them slightly different, and then print them, and then I can paint them on stream. Which also means I'm not limited to whatever gear style they chose for the old Hasbros. I can put them in any gear I want. Maybe I want Earthquake in his debut, like the weird brown singlet he debuted with. Maybe I want Bam Bam Bigelow to look a little bit more like he did in ECW or more like he did in Japan than he did in the Hasbro figures. Lot of possibilities there. Maybe I want to put the beard on Yokozuna, make him look like late era Yokozuna. That's one of the fun parts about doing this kind of toy making is like you get to make those calls. When I was a kid, I was limited to whatever toys were available at the store. Oh yeah, I guess it's Shawn Michaels, but it doesn't look like the Shawn Michaels I see on TV because the toy would be outdated to his look by the time it came around, especially in the small market that I lived in. But now, I make it look like anything I want. Hell, if I don't like their design at all, I can just start a fresh one. Right, set that down there. I'm going to move to one that covers a little bit more space. Yeah, that's looking good. Reed, you said you don't watch Dark Side of the Ring anymore. Why is that? Was there an episode that turned you off from it, or did it just get old over time? Oh, boring stories learned nothing. Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, they're only doing episodes about stories everyone's heard because they don't know any other stories because they haven't heard them. They're kind of in they're in a bit of a spot there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't feel like I learned much on any episode, but I think I'm just obsessed enough with wrestling that I kind of like seeing the stories anyway. You know what I mean? All right, so that is hair and beard on one. I'm going to hang him up to dry. Off out of the way over here on my homemade DIY drying rack. And we'll start on the next one. When we round the back end on these, I think we're going to come back and do, you know what, before any of the paint has a chance to dry, I'm going to take a look at this guitar and see, how is this drying? Does this need another coat yet? Yeah, if we hit this with the heat gun for a second, it'll be okay. Sound warning to everyone using the heat gun. So if you're using headphones, watch out. There we go. Good first coat. It's not perfect coverage, but it's a good start. I feel like that's not always easy to do. Nice soft bristles. Get the guitar color back out. Let's give this a second coat here. Yeah, that coverage is real nice now. Joey Nails, if you're still in the chat, what is the next show I'm going to see you at? When am I going to be able to give you Honky's guitar? I know Joey Nails was busy tonight. Possible he may have moved on with his evening. He's watched me paint a lot of toys. I believe he has, apart from Luau Perry, I believe he has the full Perry collection thus far. So this is nothing new to him. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay. Set that aside and let that dry a little bit. Let's see, waits for Perry to think about this. Okay. Hang on. Dark Side of the Ring. Fury of the Northeast. Whoa, hey, whoa. I know the reference. Whoa. Whoa. Joey's old enough to know the reference. August Green Mountain. Okay, well that's not too bad. I mean, true, look, July's gonna fly. And all of a sudden we're gonna be there. I gotta figure out how to get ISW to book me for that Warp Tour show in wherever it is, Montreal or wherever they're doing. Because that looks awesome, and I want to do that. All right, next. Again, for those who haven't seen it before or didn't pay attention, I find this to be an important part of the process, is holding one hand and then the other hand, my fingers will touch the piece while I'm working. It gives me a lot more control. I think you've both managed to lose me. I actually don't think I know the reference. I believe I've been left behind on this one. There is a whole generation of New England wrestling that I don't know at all because I was in California. So there's a lot of well-known names that I am just unfamiliar with. But that's fine. Promoter from New England scene who's really... Oh, yeah, no, that's one I don't know. I don't know a promoter with a name, with that name. It could have been before my time, which is a distinct possibility. And it also could have been after my time while I was in California. So I'll count myself lucky that I'm not familiar with this character. Yeah, Vince McMahon. That's who it was. Good. Every once in a while, you'll see me come in with a tightly wadded bit of paper towel just to do a little bit of cleanup where some paint may have gotten away from me. I'm not above that. I'm not above that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's not that dark a story. If that's who you're talking about, because like there's way darker stories in wrestling, like comparatively, and there's definitely darker stories in New England than that. That said, I do know that person, and we were not particularly close when they were in wrestling. I think we may have had 2 or 3 conversations ever. We were only ever in one match together once. It was a battle royal when I was brand new. And that's the entirety of my interactions with that person. Otherwise, I know very little about them. I don't actually even know what the story is about them. I just knew suddenly they were gone, and everyone sort of said, "Oh yeah, they're canceled," I guess. But I never really. I try not to spend a whole ton of time on like the drama of wrestling. Like I just try to avoid people that I've been told have done bad things. And that's about it. I'm not in wrestling for like the high school drama aspect. I leave that to the 20-year-olds of wrestling. I'm there to put on a show, have a good time with fans and with my fellow wrestlers, and that's that. And if I can avoid the bad people, I will. Yeah, I don't even know that name either. That's a name I'm unfamiliar with. And I count myself pretty lucky sometimes that when people tell these stories and talk about certain people and like bad things they've done, I'm like, yeah, pretty okay that I don't know that person, or that I never got to know that person well, or whatever the situation may be. I just know when someone's real trouble and I know it firsthand, I just distance myself, and I will tell people that I won't work shows with certain, like, I think in the whole time I've been in wrestling, I've only ever had to tell promoters like 2 names that I wouldn't do shows with. But if they chose the other person over me, that's fine by me. A lot of wrestling shows to do, especially in New England. Any given weekend, there's 5 or 6 shows you could be doing on any given Saturday, 3 or 4 shows you could be doing most Fridays, and 2 or 3 shows you could be doing any Sunday. So there's no shortage of places to work. So if places have bad people, you just work somewhere else. It's not hard. I think the tricky thing is if you work somewhere and like you find out a bad person's on the show after you've already wrestled, like they show up late or they were a surprise or something. I know that's happened to a few friends of mine where they've found out like after their match while they were getting changed that someone they'd rather not be associated with suddenly was a big surprise. Awesome Cross 98. There's a bunch of dudes that I would not work with, but thankfully most of them are signed to major companies, so I don't ever have to worry about working with them. Yeah, I typically find that two very different thoughts are often simultaneously true. The best people in wrestling, the best and nicest people in wrestling will be successful. They will end up signed and they will make money. Bailey, Sami Zayn, lots of really good people who get signed and make crazy money. And simultaneously, it is true that the worst people in wrestling will also make a ton of money. And that's regardless of era. There's terrible people making huge money now, and there were terrible people making huge money in every other era of wrestling. Wrestling does not limit itself to good people or bad people. It's a very interesting thing that way. I've never heard that Sami Zayn is a horrible person. I've never heard that. Of course, it could be true. I don't know him personally. But I've only ever really heard, like, good things. You know? All right, before we move on to the last beard and hair here, let's get a look at the Joey Nails guitar and see if it needs another coat. I think it may. So, warning again for those with earbuds, I am using the heat gun momentarily to help dry this along. I use it on the low setting, so it's not terribly hot. I just need a nice warm breeze passing over this paint. One of the nice parts about using sort of craft acrylic paints is that it does seem to do a really nice job of drying. Now, see, Reed Cooper, I've always heard the exact opposite. I've always heard that CM Punk is a terrible person. I don't personally believe it, strictly because I'm a fan. I know that's not how logic works. That's not how logic works. The fact that I'm a fan of his doesn't mean he's a good person. But that's how I choose to view the world, since it's very unlikely that I'll ever meet or work with him. I just choose to assume he's a good guy, because I do like his work, I like his character. I think, generally speaking, he has been a net positive for wrestling. Here's the thing, I like the Young Bucks. I also like that CM Punk got in a fight with the Young Bucks. Like, call me like devil's advocate. I think a little bit of that stuff makes wrestling interesting. Now, I don't want to ever have to have any part of that. I don't like the idea of being in a fight. I would prefer to avoid that. I am, for all of my human monster truck and all my merry-go-round throwing and all my stiff forearms or whatever the heck, I am very much a pacifist. Don't meet your heroes unless it's Perry Von Vicious. So this guitar, it's a little hard to see in the camera. It's basically sort of a light cartoony, yeah, it's looking a little yellow on camera, but that's partly the light that I have here. Give me 1 second when I clean this brush off and then see if we can't get a more true color here. The color that I've mixed up, I would describe as sort of a deeper version of the flesh tone that the resin here comes in. Let me kill the light so we can get a more natural color. Yeah, so the acoustic guitar is supposed to be this sort of like light natural. Let's see if the camera will ever focus on it. Light sort of natural kind of faux wood color. And then around the sides and the back, it's going to be a dark brown, and that the fretboard is going to be sort of like black. There's going to be a black pick guard as well as the nut up here will be black. And then once it's all clear coated and done, I'm going to come back on the frets and hit them with the chrome marker, so we get a real nice guitar look. That's going to look like Honky's old guitar toy. All right. So yeah, that light back on because I need it to see. We are going to hit the last beard and hair here. I say the last beard and hair. There's definitely going to be more. Yeah, I get bad vibes off of Cody. I don't know why, but like I definitely get like sort of a cliquey bully kind of guy vibes off Cody. But again, I don't know the guy. Could be a great dude. Genuinely none of my business. I don't know him. So. And I don't even really watch the product. So like, I'm basing it off of like what tiny clips come across my social media, I guess. Cody Lane rules. Cody Lane is awesome. I've had the good fortune to work with Cody Lane. Yeah, no, Cody Lane rules. No argument there. Cody Lane is in my heart. Is that what the Beatles were singing about? Cody Lane? Yeah, there's a few flies down here. No idea why. There's no trash down here. There's no food of any type down here. But we've been infiltrated by some flies down here. They've become my roommates while I lift in the gym. But, you know, they're just those fat fruit flies, so I just kind of ignore them. Yes, one of them is Baxter Stockman. That's true. That's definitely the case. Whichever one's the most evil is Baxter Stockman. Guys, I am just a little over a week away from going to see Weird Al Yankovic and Puddle's Pity Party. Come on. Boston Garden, Weird Al Yankovic, let's go. I was trying earlier today to do a little bit of math and figure out how many times I've seen Weird Al, and I have definitely lost track. Like, I don't think it's something I could actually count up accurately. I've been to every tour since the summer of '99's Touring with Scissors. Yes, it might have been summer of '99. Yeah, it must have been summer of '99. Touring with Scissors, which I attended that tour twice. Once in the summer, once in the winter leg. And then I've been to every tour since. A lot of them more than once. So it's really tough for me to say. I've also seen him at some non-tour stops when he was doing like UHF screenings and Q&As and those kinds of things. So yeah, it's a little tough for me to say how many times I've seen Weird Al live now. But I know like it's got to be north of 20. And no, I never got tired of it. It's great every time. It's a little different every time. Didn't make it to Weird Al when he was here in Sioux Falls, but I had a bad day and was in the pool instead. Hey, I had a pool. Could use a concert, but I think I'd find some parties to meet new friends. But yeah, I mean, hey, I've been to concerts solo. I went to Warped Tour 2016 by myself. as well as Warped Tour 2007. I went by myself. In 2007, here's some deep Perry lore. The only breakup I ever had when my ex and I broke up was the day before Warped Tour. I went by myself. And then the very next day after Warped Tour was when I started dating my now wife. So yes, for those counting, in my adult life, I've been single just a little bit over 24 hours. What can I say? I was in demand. Yes, yeah. But yeah, I know Hirobotic is currently on vacation with the wife and the boy. And all three of them will be at the Weird Al concert with me at the Boston Garden. They're in the same section that my wife and I are in. And it is the boys' first concert. And like, can you think of a better first concert for a kid? I mean, right? Weird Al with Puddle's Pity Party. Pretty sick. Lucky kid. I think we're ready for that thicker brush. Make sure we got all the outline parts done. Looking good. Looks great. Right. Clean this brush off. That's been a trusty brush to use. Day Without Darkness, you definitely are with the right person. She is a gem. She's the best in the world. Yeah, I had a lot of people tell me like, oh, you're so lucky, like your relationship worked out so well, you two are so happy. We weren't really lucky. We were picky. She is not going to be the karaoke guest. I don't know that you'll ever see her on stream unless it's like she needs something from the office and briefly passes through the room behind me, which has happened a couple times. And once I get that basement studio built, that possibility goes right out the window. So it may never really happen. Definitely not. Definitely not her at karaoke. Okay. Hair and beard is complete on that one. That is, oh no, we skipped the mustache. What am I doing? Okay, come on. Get it together. It is the trickiest part to paint. Very small on the sculpt. And if you go off of it, you start to drift when you're painting it. He ends up with a mustache-colored mouth or a mustache-colored nose. None of that is any good. All right, there we go. Feel good about that. All right, I'm going to set that on the rack to dry with the others. We're going to come back and take a look at Joey Nails' guitar and see how that is coming along. Hang on. Let's see. I have to scroll back up. A bunch of the chat started moving very quickly. Reed Cooper says, you're getting old when the hottest people in women's wrestling match to you are the oldest people in the match. age is, you know, age is a tricky, complicated thing. What if she walked past wearing a strong bad mask? I do need a strong bad mask. Understandable, but disappointed for your viewer. She is one of the smartest, wittiest people I know. She is the smartest and wittiest person I know. Yeah. People all the time say like, "Oh, you know, you're so lucky. You guys get along so well." All that. We weren't lucky. We were picky. We were both very picky. You know, I can't speak to her, but I know for me, Day Without Darkness will back this up. It's my mom's fault that I was so picky, because she always told me how great I was, and how one day some very lucky girl was going to end up with me, and as a result, I have a huge ego. So I wouldn't settle. This is looking really good. I know it's not reading on camera quite the colors quite the way I want, and it's definitely not focusing the way I'd like, but it's looking very good. All right, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun for a second, because then we're going to hit some detail work on this, because I do have the reference image up. Ms. Vicious being the guest would actually be better than Uncle Sid. Huh. Yeah. The guests are all going to be ghosts. I hope not. They're going to leave me to do all the singing by myself. Yeah, that's right. Special musical guest Ghost. I do need, you know, this is the tricky thing, is I'm having to balance doing these streams with getting all my workouts in, with prepping for the Saturday stream, and it's been a lot. Like, I got a lot left to do for that stream. I have to put together the karaoke concert playlist. That's got to be ready to go. I do have requests from our guests for songs they would like to do, so I have to add those in. I have some graphics I need to work on. And I have some work inside my Streamlabs to get all the different scenes set up. Now, here's the thing. Look, the pre-show, for those who were present for the pre-show last time, it's a good time. It's a good time. It's weird, it's kooky, it's fun. This time, it's early. It's from 8:30 to 9. I want to know from the chat, show of emotes, who thinks they're going to be present for the 8:30 a.m. pre-show? It's early. I know. It's tricky. It's going to be early. That's true. We had Denver the Last Dinosaur last time. We had all kinds of cool stuff. Joey Nail's popping some emotes. He's going to be up early, setting that alarm. He's going to make sure he is present. All right. We got Joey Nails' guitar out here. And the colors remaining to go on this, there's going to be a little bit of chrome that we're going to do. There's going to be some black and some dark brown. Okay. I'm going to take the black or the brown. I think we're going to do the brown for now. I am running low on mixing cups, so I have to be mindful of that. Do I have another thing of mixing cups? Otherwise, I got to mix like on a surface, which isn't the end of the world. Let's see. Okay, I think we're going to do the brown on here, and there's a fair bit of it. So let's see. I'm not sure what time I'll be home from Queens the night before. That's right. Hey, you know, you tune in whenever you can. All right, here we have a nice nutmeg brown. That sounds like a color that would be on a guitar. You know what I mean? Reed Cooper, I don't know my life anymore, Perry. Alarm is set for 7. Let's go, Adam and X67. Reed says, I'm not ready. You know what? Set an alarm anyway. If you wake up and you're like, nah, this is what I told Joey Nails a while back. If you wake up and you go, nah, I can't do it, turn it off and keep sleeping. Turn it off and keep sleeping. You know what I mean? But if you wake up and you go, I could use a laugh, I could use a break, I could use a distraction right now, then you'll be there. You know what I mean? It's not funny. Let's see.
Bobby, Al Yankovic blew his brains out in the late 80s after people stopped buying his records.
I'm in Queens. I'm Queens. Day Without Darkness, thank you for the gift sub for Reed. That means when Reed does tune in for the stream on Saturday, he will have access to all those subscriber only emotes, and there are some pretty cool ones. I'm pretty I really am. All right, now I have to figure out how I want to let this dry. I think it's going to have to be by the head here. All right, that'll work. All right, so go with a fairly broad brush here. We do have to watch the edges a little bit. I'm thinking this guy might be our best bet, because the edges are all pretty well defined. If we take our time, we should be okay. And it'll give us, yeah, this is going to take a few coats on the back here. Now that's how that's going on with this. It actually looks kind of wood grainy, which is kind of cool, but it's a little messy. Let's try, I just want to see what happens if I use a softer brush. See how that behaves. Yeah, it's kind of much the same. This is going to take a few coats, I think, which is not the worst thing to ever happen. All right, now's the tricky part, is getting these edges. We want to go right up to the edge, but not over if we can help it. That's coming along. That's coming along okay. Feel okay about that. Yeah, a little bit of edge work is nice. It's just coming right over the edge on this, and I like it. I like the way that that's looking. Looking very much like the original. There's just a little bit of the edge poking over. All right, let's see. Yeah, it does look more like paneling. Yeah. You know, and the thing for me here is I want these colors to look solid, because that's how the original toy looked. And we are making not an exact replica, because it can't be, but something pretty close to an exact replica. This is meant to go with Joey Nails' recently procured Honky Tonk Man Hasbro figure. Pretty pleased with how this is going. As I say that, there's like the first egregious error, thankfully easily remedied. Again, the nice part about working with very forgiving materials is that a simple wipe with some paper towels can cover a multitude of sins. Get a look at how this is coming. Now, it's a little hard for me to tell on the image I'm looking at, but I believe the face of the neck is meant to be black and the back is meant to be brown. So I guess I'm going to try to stick with that. So knowing that, that's kind of it for the brown for the moment. But I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna hit this with the heat gun so that we can continue working on this, because I kind of want to knock this one out. This is a neat project to me. And you'll see there's a lot of space between the heat gun and this toy. And that's because this heat gun, even on the low setting, can peel paint off. So that's kind of the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do here. All right. That's pretty good. We can, let's see. Yeah, that's nice and dry. We can hit that with a round 2 here and see how we get on. Yep, a little darker this time. Every time it's going to get just a little bit darker. That's really all we're after, is like creeping up on full coverage. You know what I mean? It's creeping up on it. This is looking pretty good. I'm really thrilled with how this is coming along. I think Joey Nails is going to really like this. It's going to look very good with that honky tonk figure. You know, when I downloaded this, oh, Joey Nails, did that alert just fail on you? Am I going to have to manually set an alert off? Let's see if I can manage. I'm on it, Joey Nails. I'm making it happen.
Tex Ferguson, and I came to South Hall region.
Uh-oh. Froze up for a second. But why? Why would it freeze? Oh my goodness. Well, the stream still appears to be live. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to set that one off again in a second. Twitch is playing games with us. It's got to get its act together, doesn't it know we got an all-day stream coming up? Folks, F's in the chat for the failed bit alert. We're going to rectify that in just a minute. All right. Yeah, this little guitar is coming together. Hey, get out of here, fly. Paint the fly. F's for the, okay. Let me go set that off so it actually does the right thing. The 101 we were setting off.
am Tex Ferguson, and I came here to South Paul Regional Wrestling with my friend, my compadre, mi amigo, mi hermano, Chad Too Bad. I bought me this dandy here with a 350 under the hood. He's jealous of that. I got these blue tights. He's jealous of them. His cowboy boots are made of smooth cow leather and mine were cut from the belly of a baby crocodile. He's jealous of that. You're going to be even more jealous when you're counting the lights, cowboy. That's it.
So good. Oh, man. South Park Regional Wrestling rules. All right, this is coming along. Like, come on. Yeah, this is going to look so sick about Honky Tonk Man figure. And what I was starting to say earlier is when I downloaded the file for this, it came with the entire file for Honky Tonk Man. So I can print my own Honky Tonk Man. And Joey Nails will tell you, because he has the figure, painting that is going to be a nightmare. There's so many little details. It seems like good fodder for the stream anyway. Just trying to get everything here nice and dry so I can hit another coat. Yeah, coming right along. I'm a little surprised how transparent the brown is going on. With a nice dark color like that, seems like it would take fewer coats to get full coverage, but yeah, each their own, I guess. It can behave however it wants. But with each passing color, each passing coat here, we're getting a little bit closer to what we want. Like you can start to sort of see it now. Start to see the vision. I'm so glad you could all join me here. Night 3 of birthday week for old Pear Bear. As we inch our way toward tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. It is our weekly cozy stream, Stardew Valley, with Mr. Johnny Torres. And then Friday night, you can catch me on the Chaotic Wrestling YouTube or Twitch channel as they live stream the Chaotic Countdown. I make my Chaotic Wrestling debut. Something that is maybe a little overdue. Maybe I should have been there sooner. Who knows? We'll certainly know Friday night. And then Saturday, kicking off at 8:30 in the gosh darned morning with some pre-show chaos. It is the all-day birthday stream celebrating my 42nd birthday. Saying that out loud is a little hard to take. We'll be celebrating my birthday. An all-day stream. 8:30, we got some pre-show chaos. And then starting at 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., we are doing 2000s wrestling video game roulette. As I have a dozen plus 2000s wrestling games preloaded, ready to go that day, including Def Jam Vendetta 1 and 2, Legends of Wrestling 1 and 2, I believe. I think it's both. We got a WWE Crush Hour. We got the WWF SmackDown games. We got the WWF games for the GameCube. We got the Backyard Wrestling games. Guys, it's going to be a wide array of different games with a lot to experience, a lot to see. A lot of them I'm only going to be playing for the first time ever. Some of them for the first time in like 2 decades. So should be a really fun experiment. All right. This is looking really good. I think one more coat is probably going to do the trick here, but we'll see. I can always do more later. You know, this is looking pretty good. It certainly looks wood grainy from some of the early brush strokes, which is kind of a cool effect I hadn't planned on. Like, by the time we're done, this may look better than the original guitar toy that came with the figure. Like, this might look a little bit cooler than that. I want to get it close, though, because the idea is that it's a replica. That's the whole concept here. Yeah, I think this is going to be the final coat that does the brown here, and then we are going to go back and touch up some of that lighter color, and then we'll work on the headstock. But yeah, at this point, I've kind of hyper-focused, and I'm fixated in on this guitar. I hope everyone's been having a good Perry's birthday week. I know a lot of you have been here every night for the streams. I really do appreciate that. Shouts out Adam and X67 Day Without Darkness and Reed Cooper, who have been here all week. I know Ryan Nickabeans may still be lurking, may still be having a listen in while they're often doing some other projects. I appreciate you all being here. Adam NX67 with that crazy watch streak reveal tonight. 100, the first to hit triple digits, I believe. Absolutely wild. Reed Cooper's doing editing. Good. I like when people multitask while the stream's on, you know? I'm sitting here doing something creative. There's no reason everyone else should be limited, you know? Everyone should be working on something fun. Even if that something fun is working on having a snack while you watch the stream. You know what I mean? Nickabeans. Oh yeah, Nickabeans is still here. Hey, Nickabeans. Yeah, this is coming along a treat. Like, this is looking real good. Honestly, it looks better than I thought it would. I don't really know what I was expecting. Nickabeans, did you hit triple digits? Were you in triple digits already? I think you were, right? And yes, Reed Cooper, good point. What game are you playing? All right, this looks pretty good. I'm going to hit it with some heat again so we can continue on. You were at 158? Holy crap. That's right, I do remember that. My goodness. Horticulture. Gesundheit. Waka waka. I'm going to hit the open back part of this with one last coat, even though I washed the brush already. I'm looking at it. I want slightly better coverage. It's kind of what I'm. Feel good about that. All right, how are we doing on time? Oh my goodness, we got so much time left. Guys, we are definitely going to finish this guitar for Mr. Joey Nails. It's already looking pretty good. I got to hit it with some more heat, so please hold. Let's check. Is this tacky? Oh, that's good. Okay. Now I do want to come back. I want to get a little bit of the edging up on the top here, a little bit cleaner. That's what we're going to do. Come back into our little custom color here. Come right up to the edge on the little bit of spillover. May take more than one. May take more than one pass. We'll see. Yeah, that's what I want. That's looking real nice. We're taking a lot of careful care with a lot of the fine detail on this. Which, I mean, you know, can't take pride in the thing you're doing. Why do it, right? let's see. How is that for drying? Not quite there. Too close though. All right. Got sort of the basic shape of the guitar done here. The head needs to be brown. I guess I'm going to do that now. It's been a little hard for me to decide, like, do I wait on that? But as long as the brown's already out, we might as well. And this is the thing, like, I could go wicked thick with it and get it all in one pass, but you lose a lot of that 3D print detail if you let that paint gob up and fill all the little nooks and crannies. So that's no good. That's a non-starter for me. Can't do that. So we're going to have to take that same tactic of kind of doing a bunch of passes here and hitting it with the heat gun. So my apologies for the noise. But this is going to be an ongoing thing for the next couple of minutes. Okay. I'm liking the level of detail on this. Looking really nice. Every once in a while I gotta kind of stop and give it a quick, like, lean back and look at it, you know. Going pretty good. Going pretty good. You ever considered 3D printing some weird something for a match? So I'm a little limited in terms of that, just based on the size of the prints I can do. I would have to print anything large enough to be like a prop for a match would be like a big multi-part print. If you're talking in terms of like a weapon for a match, I've considered it. Behind me on a wall, I have the 3D printed fraternity, like, paddle or whatever they call them, that I made for when Delta House invited me to join Delta House. So I needed a frat paddle with a monster truck on it. And that was a 3-part print because it would take a lot of parts. And at that point, it's a lot of plastic. So it really depends on what I'm trying to make, you know? Like, sometimes it's kind of more work than it's worth. But yeah, I mean, I guess if we count that fraternity paddle that I made for Delta House, then yeah, I sort of did once. I have thought about doing like some kind of like a big 3D printed like entrance gear thing, sort of like I wanted to do like a big Van Vader helmet like he had, but it would be like a monster truck or something. I would just need to come up with a good design for it, I think, and then I could be convinced. Oh, let's see if that alert goes off. Let's see if the hydrate alert goes off. should. Sometimes it takes a second.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. This is the tidal wave.
Day without darkness just redeemed hydrate.
Give me 1 second and I will absolutely fulfill that. I think we're just about there with the head of the guitar. Give it one more pass. And then we're going to move on in colors. But before I do, Johnny Knoxville said to hydrate. And he's had more WrestleMania matches than I have, so. Clearly he knows what he's doing. Okay. It's looking pretty good. I can't wait to see the bits and bitting war that ends up taking place for this translucent Delmy Exo prototype on Saturday. I'm real excited to see, because it's such a cool and unique piece. From AEW Dynamite. New AEW World Champion. Was it Kenny, right? That was challenging MJF. Is that right? Am I recalling that correctly from the bits that I see on Twitter? That's a guy I'm a big fan of too. I mean, how can you not be? He's so good. It's really kind of absurd. All right, I see a couple little areas I just wanna clean up a tiny bit with the brown. Let's see, way to attack here. So just tough no matter what I do. Not loving how that's behaved. Actually, the paint it on and immediately wipe it off tactic seems to work okay. Okay. It's looking right. Gonna hit that with the heat gun real quick. Yeah, see, Kenny Omega has good taste. He knows what he's doing. Just like me, he's a big star in Japan. 12 stars. Look, I don't think... I don't know if two wrestlers who are both over 40 wrestling each other on a show with the kind of talent that a New Japan has should ever be given a high rating, right? Like, you'd have to really, really show them something to deserve that. Not to say it's impossible, but, you know, there's definitely going to be some young guys doing some more interesting stuff. Now, that's the thing that I've talked about for a long time is like, you know, this conversation of like, when do you know when you're done? And to me, the moment you should be done with wrestling is when you look around at a show and there are better talents than you hanging out that are not booked. You know, that's when you gotta show yourself the door. As soon as you're taking a spot from someone who's better than you, that's when you are now detrimental to the business. So I'm always trying to stay keenly aware of that. So I don't think it's fair to fans or young wrestlers for old vets to take spots just because they've been around. That feels gross to me. Thankfully, that's not the case yet. I'm still awesome. You're going to give the guitar a little bit of a break so that everything on it can cure up real good. I say Okada's like 32 or something. He's still super young. And that Okada Tanahashi getting a high score was like some time ago, wasn't it? 38. Still, and when was that match? Wasn't that a while back? Oh. Still, I mean, that does make him, at the time of that match, 5 years younger than me. Harry 5 years ago was a very different wrestler. I mean, truth be told, me at any point in my career, if you look 5 years earlier or 5 years later, I'm a very different wrestler. Not necessarily worse or better in any of those directions, but I mean, really, if you stop evolving, like, what are you doing? You're kind of just playing the greatest hits at that point. You know, Minoru Suzuki can have any damn match he wants. They don't even have to be great if he doesn't want. He doesn't have to. He could be just fine. He could do a match that's just fine. Okay. So, we need to get back to what we got about a half hour left. What do I want to get into on these figures that I feel confident about? I want to leave those torsos drying. We can hit a second coat of the green on this. That was something we needed to come back to. This paint is still fresh, so we can still use it. I do see the debate a lot about whether people think Suzuki still has good matches. Good is so subjective. You know what I mean? Like, he does a lot of comedy work now. His style has changed. Well, it hasn't changed that much, but it's changed a little. I think he still tells good stories. I think his work is still crisp for what he does, but like it's not like he was never like a big high flyer or something. It was always sort of a grounded striker, if anything. So I don't know. I think his work's probably about as good as it's ever been. But it is different. You know, I think that's where a lot of people get once there's change. You know, you don't get what you expect from someone. You're getting a new version of them, and that can be really difficult from an outside perspective when you're an onlooker. Especially if you're like a fan who paid for a ticket or something, that can be really difficult because, well, I expected him to be like this, and now he's like this. What the heck? It's like, oh, was his match bad? Well, no, but he didn't do what I wanted. Well, don't know what to tell you about that, you know. Admittedly, I do think that as wrestlers get older, especially if they're established wrestlers, I do think that there is some expectation that they'll do a bit of playing the hits, you know. And if they don't, of course, you're going to be let down. You know, and I'm not nearly as established as the wrestlers we're talking about, but like, even for me, if I'm on a show and I don't do a merry-go-round, I do have people at the merch table going like, "You didn't even hit a merry-go-round tonight." It's like, yeah, man, I can't necessarily hit it every show. It's a finish. Like, what am I going to do? I'm not winning the match. Still need to hit it? Or like, I'm in a battle royal. Do I still need to hit it? Right, exactly. When you go see, Less Than Jake, they got to play All My Best Friends or Metalhead. And if they don't, there's going to be people disappointed. You know, when you see the New Kids on the Block, they got to sing Hangin' Tough. They got to sing Step by Step. When you go see Weird Al, he's got to do Amish Paradise. You know, otherwise, there's going to be people disappointed. Okay. That's looking pretty good. I'm glad we got that second round of green on there. I'm a little tempted to hit that with the heat gun and give it another round. Well, yeah, and that's exactly it. Is you can absolutely just disappoint fans. Like there is no like contractual like, oh, you have to do this. There's a lot of songs where people are disappointed if Real Big Fish don't play. That's true. Anytime I see Real Big Fish, there's a bunch of stuff where I'm like, I would love to hear this, and instead I get 5 or 6 different versions of Suburban Rhythm. Although it is a good gag when they do like different genres for that song. That's always a lot of fun. Speaking of, welcome in, Elmira Marks. Have to add Beer and Sellout to that list. Yeah, absolutely. You got to have Beer and Sellout. You got to have. She has a girlfriend now. Where have you been? You know, Real Big Fish has just tons of big hits that you really want to see. Okay. We got some legs started. They're drying. I think the next color for kind of everything now is going to be black, although I guess there's some red I need to do on this first. So let's see about that. I'm out of mixing cup, so I may have to use the paint pen. Wait, so have you been in disgust since you Western Masculine? Wait, hang on. What am I in disgust about? Oh, into ska. Yes, I've been into ska since I was probably 17 or 18 when I started listening to ska, which was a long time ago because I'm an elderly man. Shouts out Day Without Darkness, who hates when I make that joke. But yeah, I've been into ska for a long time. I was going to see, the first ska band I ever saw live was Less Than Jake. It was right before the Anthem album dropped. They were the band I went to see, but they were opening for Good Charlotte and Newfound Glory at the Worcester Centrum, which is a crazy venue to have seen Less Than Jake at. Like, that's way outside of their normal genre of venue. All right, let's see what kind of coverage we get with this. I know I used this to do the most recent one. So let's just see. Ooh, real runny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work for me. A little too runny. Yep. We're abandoning the paint pen for now. We're going to go to some regular red paint on a fine bristle brush. Did you ever see the Flaming Tsunamis? I sure did. Saw the Flaming Tsunamis. I saw one of my favorite local, if we're talking like the different local ska acts. I know Day Without Darkness. I know. If we're talking local ska acts, I adored a band called Monty R.I., who were sort of ska meets like metal. It was a little hard to describe what they were doing. I also really loved from Connecticut a band called Tip the Van. I was friends with them, got to know them pretty well. Friends. Yep. Yo, it was right around the time the band started getting MySpace pages that I was able to like start getting out to shows. Excuse me a second. I'm grabbing a piece of cardboard to use as a makeshift paint holder. Let's see, where's my giant stack of random pieces of cardboard? There it is. I'll bring a couple back with me just in case. There we go. But yeah, I was in the scene. I had a band. We were not a ska band. We were a pop punk band called Hydraulic Sandwich. I've shown some clips of them on the stream in the past. And for a couple of us, all we ever wanted was to be a ska band. It just happened that we were a pop punk band because that's what we were equipped to play. We did not have any horn players. This paint's looking a little chunky, so I'm going to have to give it a bit of some mixing here and make sure it's not going to cause me any trouble. Oh, that's looking okay. Okay, cool. I like that it's thick. This'll do the job that I want it to do. More fine pointed brush. Yeah, the band Tip the Van was a favorite. Trying to remember some of the other local ska bands. There weren't that many. They were often from out of the area. These little mini raspberry and lemon tartlets from Ocean State Job Lots. Yo, you have been crushing it with the Ocean State Job Lots snacks, and I'm kind of jealous. Because I am trapped in the world of staying on diet so that I can pretend to be an in-shape pro wrestler. Yeah, this is something I was actually talking with our pal Joey Nails about right before the stream. Because I make all this merch of myself, the wrestling figures, the t-shirts, my pins, my trading cards, my stickers, everything. And in all of that merch, I am jacked with long hair and a beard. I'm stuck. I can't change my look. You know, that's it. I gotta keep the beard. I gotta keep the long hair. And I gotta stay in shape. Otherwise, I don't look like the merch. And then what do? Then I'm left with a pile of merch that looks like somebody else. Can't go selling that. That's no good. As I said when I was painting the same style figure for Reed, because he ordered one of these, one of the nice things about knowing that I'm going to come back in on this and have to do the black for the rest of the tights is that if I don't quite get the lines here right with the red, the black will come in and cover those crimes. Using having a second layer with a darker color covers a multitude of sins. Chat here. Oh, they have tons of healthy options. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't blame you for not taking those options. Look, when I'm not stuck trying to maintain a certain type of appearance, my diet gets crazy bad. I mean, in terms of like, if it's healthy or not, it gets crazy bad. There is a thing talked about with people, both people who do like just traveling, tourists, and within the wrestling world about going to Japan. Because Japan is such a great place and it's so cool and it's so much fun, especially if you're there for a long time. And I was there, my last tour, I was there 3 months, uninterrupted, no trips back. I was there 3 months. They talk about you have a post-Japan trip depression when you come back. And that's real. That's really real. You know, my wife knew about it and was prepared. Like she knew I would end up a bit depressed when I came back. It's partly coming back to America. It's partly, you know, just you're coming back to real life. Because when you're over there, you're not living real life, you know. Over there, I don't have bills. I don't have you know, I don't have a house to care for. Over there, everything was kind of taken care of for me. It's not real life, you know. It's not real life. So you come back and you slip into a little bit of a depression. Yeah, I'm not afraid to tell you. We're talking about diets going bad. You want to talk about diets going bad? For the first 2 weeks after I came back, I was not really eating meals with my wife because my sleep schedule was so messed up that I was just sleeping all the time. So I would just wake up and randomly go have meals by myself sitting in the living room. And for 2 weeks, the only food I ate, the only food I ate, I need to stress that, the only things I ate for 2 weeks were the taco flavored Doritos that they had out. They're like sort of a special flavor. I don't know if they still have them now, but it was an old flavor they had brought back. It was taco flavored Doritos and brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. That was all I ate for, I mean, solidly 2 weeks before I started really eating anything else. And it like undid a lot of the hard training I'd done in Japan. It made me feel like crap. It made me look like crap. It was just not a good time. On the plus side, it was delicious. Like, what am I going to sit here and tell you that it wasn't very good? No, hell no. It was delicious. It was bad for me. But, you know, as Alfred would tell us, we fall so we can get back up again. That's where we're at now. I am on it with the diet, eating boring, repetitive foods that have a lot of protein and only the right carbs and only the right fats and only the right sugars, etc., etc. I am working out like a maniac. That's why I'm looking all big and jacked these days. Got to try to keep up with all those kids in wrestling. Those kids, man. Damn kids with their youthful genetics and youthful frickin' metabolisms. They've all got it easy. You want to know if someone had to work for their abs? You ask them if they're over 35. Furthermore, you find out if they're over 200 pounds. It's real easy to have abs if you're under 200 pounds and you're under 35. It's not real easy to have abs at any age if you're over 200 pounds. Kind of at any weight, it's not easy to have abs if you're over 35. So it's a slog, and I certainly don't claim to have great abs, but I have a little bit of abs. You can kind of see a hint of abs. Someday I'm really going to kill it on diet, and it'll be like you got a special thing of Captain Crunch. It'll be Perry. Whoops, all abs. All right, so that's that for that. That needs to dry now. Let's get a look. How is this drying? Does this need another coat? Oh, this might be done. Yeah. Yeah, the coverage on these shorts is looking really good. I think that's done. Let's get a look at the guitar. That doing? Feels pretty good. I do want to let it cure up a lot more before I fuss with it too much, but I think I can might be able to get the black done on this top part. Yeah, what the heck, let's give it a shot. Actually, I think there's another little brown bit I need to do here. As long as the brown is present, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Now I'm eating some boba milk tea mochi, and oh my god, yeah, that does sound good. That does sound good. That's one of the things that I get off easy about with diet is because I don't do drugs at all. I never have the like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, but I was stoned. Like, that's never an issue for me. So I get off pretty easy there. Yeah, I've definitely had some friends who, were like carefully in ketosis for weeks on end, and then they indulged a little bit, and their ketosis was ruined. Guitar is coming along. We're adding a little bit of a detail here. Say to me. We are getting right up on the end of the stream here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm at the point where it's Helps me actually have access. Oh, hey, that's, well, good then. I'm glad it's helping. Well, right now, this is the guitar for Honky Tonk Man for our good friend Mr. Joey Nails. The other figures I've been working on have been different versions of the Perry figure. Two of them are just for me. They're for my archives. I like to keep a model of all the toys I've made. I've been very bad at it, so I'm trying to get better. And then one is a pre-order that came in. So we've had a few different projects out on the old bench today. This needs some time to dry, but it's very close. This is going to be black with the frets are going to be silver. The sound hole will be black, and then this will be done, which is pretty exciting. I can set that in there to dry. Yeah, with that, we're basically done with projects for now. So I feel pretty good leaving all this where it's at, so everything has time to really cure up before next week's stream. I'm going to have a few other things that we need to do. We have some old projects we need to finish up. I have this monster truck ride truck add-on that needs to be finished. What is on? Something fell on it. Where's my tweezer? Like some dust that fell on it. There we go. But yeah, I got that. I got a few other pieces. There's the RV add-on that we made for this monster truck that we need to finish painting, that we designed and 3D printed. A lot of little projects that I really need to wrap up that I just haven't gotten to. But yeah, for now we're gonna call that a stream, and I am gonna check and see who we might raid, because we've been having a good time tonight, and there's no reason to not share that with some other folks. So let's take a look and see who might be on. I believe Frank Howley is on. He's playing some Doom. We got Mega 64, Poorly Played Stream is doing some Metal Gear Solid. Who else? Yeah, I think that's about it for folks we know. So I think we're gonna raid the Mega 64 crew here. While I work on my my little outro here. Folks, I will be seeing you all again. I will be seeing you all again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for the co-stream with Johnny Torres. We'll be playing some Stardew Valley. And then Friday, I will be making my debut for Chaotic Wrestling. That's going to be pretty sick. Trying to see how am I in frame here? And you can see that on either their, trying to type and talk at the same time. You can see that on either their Twitch or their YouTube channel for free tomorrow night. So be sure to check that out. You can see me in the Chaotic Countdown, their version of the Royal Rumble. And then Saturday, starting at 8:30 a.m., we're going to have some pre-show shenanigans. And then at 9 a.m., we will be officially kicking things off with our 2000s Wrestling Roulette. We're going to be doing the giveaway for this Delmy Exo. Get it on both cameras there. This Delmy Exo translucent prototype figure, all in the hopes to raise the money to take Delmy Exo to her very first Monster Jam show. And I can't wait to see you all there. We got a lot of cool things cooked up for that. And then at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., it's karaoke with a special mystery guest. I can't wait. We're going to have so much fun. Shouts out to Day Without Darkness for gifting some subs. Shouts out to Joey Nails for throwing out a whole bunch of bits throughout and resubbing himself. Shouts out to Encrypted Cryptid for re-upping her subscription. Shouts out to everybody for their watch streams or their watch streaks. And we are headed over to the Mega 64 channel. I will see you all there, and I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for Stardew Valley with Johnny Torres. Take it easy, everybody.